Earlier, Kazuya was fatally injured while trying to protect some girls from an armed robber. She wakes up to find herself reincarnated in a fantasy world as Cain, who belongs to a noble family who has passed. He keeps his memories from his life, so his family considers him a genius. At the age of 5 he undergoes a forced baptism. The gods grant him all their abilities and max out all his stats. When his family sees this they warn him to keep their abilities a secret, but he sets his sights on becoming an adventurer. 8 worries about the king, reads the letter the first king sent and wonders if it's really Yuya. Cain learns that Yuya has managed to create another world, and as the god of creation there reveals that he lived. Plus he gave Cain a gift to the king, and everyone was shocked to see the barrier where they killed the black dragon. The king finally believed Cain was telling the truth, but wondered what training Cain was referring to in the letter. He says his training was as long and rough as his wife's. Spears he takes from other people every night. He has to fight monsters and survive mock battles to the death for 5 years. The king wonders if he heard that right, and from Cain he still asked if it had been 5 years since he had been a little ugly duke. Cain is told by his useless ass that he forgot to accept the mission needed to level up, and if he doesn't act at the guild headquarters, his list will be revoked. Cain asks why he wants to revoke his guild master license and apologizes because he has not had any free days recently. The guild master tells him that Tefana is so angry that his love might explode. Cain thinks it should be him, since he only cares about his adventurer license, so the guild master tells him conditions for becoming an adventurer. There are currently about 10 bandits on the road from Gracia to the royal capital, and he has to subdue them to keep his title. But that shouldn't be a problem because he's the strongest guy in capital Cain. He promises he'll handle it, and the guild master looks forward to it happening inside the forest. Cain activates his flight to search for the bandits but eventually flies down when he sees a cart ambushed by them and says he will help. They go outside, but here Nina notices that Sabinos and Millie are seriously injured, so Cain runs over and uses his heal ability to heal her wounds. The bandits say that another boy can't stop them, because small children only need to drink from their mother. They cry milkers, but Cain says he will pay them for harming his tutors. They rush him and Cain activates his power-up, knocking them off balance and destroying their core one by one with his new katana. Cares and thinks of them all. Going back is really hard. Sabinos thanks for rescuing them, but Millie wonders why he's here. Cain says he accepted a subjugation assignment from the guild, and even though he just joined the guild he's about to take a C-rank assignment. He is surprised by his ability. Cain shows them the adventure card, and the girls are surprised that he already has a higher rank than them. The Sabinos think that explains how he took out all the bandits, but wonder what they're going to do with them. They're in the capital. They drove the cart away. It must be those bandits. They finally arrive at Sabino's house, and Parma comes out to greet them with a cane but is surprised to find all the bandits locked up, their father Cain saving them from those bandits, and he thinks he's too cool to even work on it. The weekend looks like Baron. Millie says she's a baron now and she's worried she'll be treated differently, but Nina thinks she's every gold digger's dream. But Cain tells them not to worry about the formalities because they're her guardians. Have been, and Millie is happy to hear that she hasn't changed a bit since she was so big. In a few years Millie sets out to open a new breed of milkers for her tutor milkers. Cain just calls herself the best milkers in the country, believes, but runs to report to the guild. Without them inside the guild, Cain reads the testimony of the bandits' submission, but as Rieta congratulates him, we go again. They tell Millie that they will show him around the capital, but he, before his arrival, grabs his hand and grabs Cain's arm to stop him. Bandit was ready to yell at the boy, but they realized it was the boy from before and fell into his aura. Claude came from behind and Cain ran up to greet him and congratulate him on his drive away. Says he'll do anything to protect his friends, but Cain says he'll do anything to protect his friends. This is the first time Claude hears that he has friends, and Millie and Nina wonder how Cain knows their teacher, Lady, and Claude said Millie was his sister. They told him they were who have taught Cain since he was 5, and Claude thinks it's a great celebration, so they have to drink juice together. They all drink some PG apple cider, and Millie tells them about how Cain saved them from all the bandits. Nina also reveals she already has a title, and Claude surprised that he caught up with her so quickly, but thinks it's no surprise that he was the only one with her at the exam, which confuses Millie since her brother was the only one there. To achieve a career using only sword skills, Nina thinks it makes a lot of sense because Cain is already a baron with his own palace and considers himself every 6th digger's dream. Claude is surprised that he became a baron and asks him not to charge him for being rude, but Cain yells at them to calm down, and Millie stumbles over his words, wondering how she got to be so strong. Cain realizes that she can't just tell him she was taught by the gods, but she can't be, thinks it should. Surprisingly, he manages to kill the red dragon because the little boy thinks that Claude Cain is hacking for defeating the SS level monster, But Millie and Nina keep showing them their magical back-rena these bags. He wonders how much it will cost, but Millie leaves. To reveal that she never filled it, she laughs and asks Kane where he got those bags and how much they actually hold. Nina says they can actually fit in a palace, and Rena pleads, realizing they must be national treasure class items. Kane and he says he'll do anything to make one of those bags. Kane promises and Rena passes out, but Claude tells her it's okay because she won't remember it tomorrow. Kane is happy to hear that. He'll be fine, but he remembers that he has school tomorrow and panics because he didn't attend at all last week. Claude wonders how he fits in, especially since he's already a baron, but Kane thinks Nina is bad for him. Tries to get off the subject, so he suggests to hug her, but she runs away and thinks it's pretty obvious that Claude Kane is going to be a computer science major. They notice you looking for someone and asking her what happened so she can substitute for tomorrow's adventure class. The teacher says he is looking. Claude realizes that this might be the perfect opportunity and asks Rita to explain more about the lesson the next day, when the teacher instructs all the students to show magic towards the target. Kane, who finally has his amazing, thinks he's going to show off his powers, but the teacher calls his name and tells him that he is banned from using magic at this academy, which all the teachers have been informed about because his entry-level magic can destroy all obstacles. As Claude's group spy on him, seeing that Kane is really no match for all of them, Roddy and thinks it's up to them to help him next lesson. The teacher introduces the adventurers who helped them and all their classmates recognize them immediately. Asks the class how many of them are adventurers and sees that they all have already an adventurer, so he asks them all to remove their guild cards. Kane realizes he feels bad and Claude asks him why he doesn't have a guild card. As he whispers to remove it, Kane makes everyone else feel bad, doesn't want to feel, because he already has a gold card and they think it's going to get worse. They all start looking at him and Kane says he forgot it at home. Paw thinks it's really hurtful but that he'll never forget it, says to make sure in the future. Billy notices how everyone is staring at him and Rena thinks she's a computer science major instead of a quantum rhythm major. Claude tells everyone they need to learn how to use Boost today. And Kane thinks he's finally going to show off his skills to Claude, but he sees all the other students go ahead of him and sees the lines forming, only he's left behind. But that's part of their plan because how they want to show they are much stronger, and if Kane manages to follow them all the students will be in awe of his power, which is their 700 IQ quantum rhythm lecture with Kane, which he was worried he wouldn't have time to duel, but finally it was their turn. They jumped at each other and clashed swords, but the bell rang to end the class. The teacher stopped the class and Kane begged for an extra minute, but the teacher wouldn't allow it. Claude apologized and promised Gabe fight him next time, but the teacher won't next time, said Kane after discovering a new type of milkers that blew the entire budget of this episode. Kane wishes that wouldn't happen because it's not like he wants a new one. The milkman type and Claude say goodbye to him at night. Kane unleashes his fury by blowing up all the trees. A huge dragon approaches him, but Kane cuts him down with one blow. He sees a huge rock standing in front of him and throws hundreds of fireballs on the ground. The guards think it's the god of destruction and the Garm leads the army to the source. Kane manages to calm down and is teleported, and his Garm reaches the crater. He sees his emblem once more. We're back inside in the king's room and he tells her that his useless father thought the god of destruction appeared after the whole forest burned down, and he tries to explain the situation, wondering if he got a warning from the gods, but the king tells him to spit quickly. Kane is crying because he can't think of going back to the present day. He sees a goblin orb in the distance, but after the dragon devours the stone, the seal is finally weakened, and even though it has eaten some of it, body should be more than that.